Hello, my name is Marcus and welcome to Tabletop Reviews. A slightly different angle for a continuation of a slightly different kind of video. 2 weeks ago, which is 3 episodes, you would have seen me do 5 games I've played. A video where I just talked about games and gave them a score. Yes, well since then that I recorded it, which as you notice from my old style of recording, or at least old setup for recording, it's quite a while ago since I actually recorded that, and I've played a lot of games since. Some of them I don't have, some of them I'm not going to do a review of either way. So here's part 2 of 5 games that I have played. And let's just get into it. Today's theme is classics, I guess you can call it. I want to start off by talking about Monopoly, and their games are going to get better. Monopoly. Well, basically, if you don't know what Monopoly is, you are on a board with a starting position, going around it the same direction, based on how much you roll from. It's either 1 dice or 2 dice. I have seen variations with 1 die, but it's usually 2 die. And you move around. If you land on something, you can draw a chance card, you can draw a community chest card, you can land on a building that you can buy, or you can land on someone else's building, you have to pay rent. You can land on go to jail, you can land on free parking. In some variations of the game, free parking also contains some money that get there somehow. I don't remember. I don't think those are official rules. I've just played with this sometimes. I don't think they're official rules. Most variations of Monopoly, well, most kinds of Monopoly will allow you to build either houses or hotels, increasing the rent. And then you're just trying to financially ruin your friends. That's the basic overview of the game. Now, I'm not going to do a full review on it because I feel like people have talked about it enough. I do own Monopoly. I have 2 variations. Well, I have a Lord of the Rings and a Disney variation. Number 1 reason that I have it is because people actually like to play it. So I always want a neutral game that I can pull out if people want to play a game. And Monopoly is just that game, but usually I want to play something different. And the second reason is because it's Lord of the Rings, and then Disney because my girlfriend loves Disney. Fiancé, I can't remember to say that. She gets a little bit annoyed. But she likes Disney and I like Lord of the Rings. So therefore we own those 2. Otherwise, I would not own this game. You just roll dice and hope to land on something. There is no tactic. The only bit of tactic you can have is the chance cards or the community chest cards, which can do something good for you. Some of them are instant, some of them are, save them, like get out of jail free card, the biggest meme in board gaming, get out of jail free. That's the only bit of tactic you can have, is when am I going to use these ones. Otherwise, like when you land on a building, you are either going to buy it or you're going to pay rent. It's not like skipping past it. I think official rules actually mean that if you can't buy it, you have to auction them off. Basically stating that the little bit of choice you might have in do I want to spend my money now, do I want to save them, goes right out the fucking window, because that building is going to get sold as soon as someone lands on it. I think there is a variation where you don't play like that, but that's like taking a bad game, making it worse. That's the only bit of like strategy you can sort of have, is do I want to spend my money now or do I want to save them? That's it. And even when it comes to building houses and hotels, some rules state that you need to be on the place to build them, making it even worse. I can understand that you have to start your turn or you have to finish your turn doing it. I think that you have to start your turn. That's completely fair. I like that. That's like you start your turn doing this and then you do something else. That's fine. But that you have to land on them. Like then it becomes, I need to save up for money and now I need to hope that I land. It's such bullcrap. Of course, when you buy the 3rd building and can build houses and stuff, you automatically start your next turn doing it. Probably, maybe, I don't know. It's just so bad. The little bits of choices you can have, the little few things that could make this game go from incredibly bad to just somewhat okay, is made in a way so you're going to hate it. It's going to be terrible. If you can buy it, you have to auction it off. You are losing it no matter what. Well, then I just might as well fucking buy it so I have it and my friends don't. Or building buildings when you just need to be lucky to land on the spaces. You can't just make it. The few little things just made absolute shit. This is such a bad game, and I can't believe that there's still editions of it and people are still playing it. It's so fucking terrible. And this is why board gaming is not a big hobby. This is why when I'm at a family gathering, like, oh, can we play board games? My cousins is like, oh, I don't like board games. I always say, well, do you not like movies? Well, some movies and some I don't. Okay, do you not like music? Some music and some, exactly. But every time you say it, they mention Monopoly or another game coming up. But it's so shit, so terrible. 1 out of 10, obviously. It's under Exploding Kittens, because Exploding Kittens at least, you know, does something, you know. Anyways, let's move on to the next game, which is Scotland Yard. Now, I showed up at just the regular game meetups we have every Monday and Saturday, and one of them had the Scotland Yard, and it was like a classic. Cool, I've heard about this game, excited to play it. Let's just give it a try. It's a hidden movement, one versus many, with some twists and turns to it. You know, you got to pay for transporting tickets and stuff. It was over within 4 rounds, and immediately realized just how terrible it is. Yeah. There is an essence of an idea in it. I can see it. So basically, you are the police trying to find a criminal, and then with rounds in between, the criminal has to reveal where he is right here, right now, and then he can move on. And then of course he might be using tickets, so you can see, okay, green ticket is bus lines and red ticket is taxis. That's not accurate, but you get the point. And then you can kind of guess, okay, he was here and now he's using green tickets, so he must have been around here maybe, and you can kind of hunt him down. Basically, the first round he has to reveal himself. He is a place close by and he is immediately tackled because, well, basically wherever he went, he would have been taken within 1 round. And looking at the way he went, that's basically how it ended up. And that's, I don't know, it just felt bad and I couldn't really see how it would work. Because the first few rounds, you completely lost as the people trying to catch him. Obviously it's something like the new mind thing, whatever, where you have some clues every turn hunting him down. This one you just kind of don't. You just sent on a freaking blind spot, and we're Jenny's tactic of get to every corner and get ready to fight, hunt him down, and then he popped up an easy place to go. And then again he can just use the black ticket, which is you don't know what he just used, and then use other tickets, and we are completely clueless again. And because like moving 1 space gives you like 3 possibilities minimum almost, so we don't, so as soon as you use the black ticket we don't know where he is, so we would just be hunting blind again. There's some lack of mechanics. I can't see how this game would be really good. It's better than Monopoly. I'm giving it a 2 out of 10 just for the strategic thinking about which tickets he's using. But you're going 3, 4 or 4 rounds, I can't remember, completely blind until it reveals himself, and then you might as well go completely blind again. So a lot of lock-in where he pops up. Not just playing against someone who's bad. Anyways, next game is the game I talked about with Monopoly. It's one of the 2 games you think about in Denmark, and it's called Ludo in Denmark. I believe that it's called Trouble internationally, or in the US at least. I don't know if you recognize Trouble or Ludo. Basically you're starting in a corner or in a side with a color, and you have 4 pieces, and then you gotta roll. So some have a globe and a star on them, some are just the numbers 1 to 6, and you gotta roll the 6 to get out. And with it's a globe and a star, you gotta roll a globe to get out. Some don't have the star, but just a globe. Again, roll a globe and get out. Yeah, and then you move around with whatever your dice rolls to try and get all your 4 characters all around on the board and in to your ending area where there are 4 new spots. It's like, yeah, Variations with just the globe on it. If you roll a globe, you can jump to the nearest globe spot with a globe on it, which could be 1, it could be 7. Yeah. And the ones with the star is the same, it's just a symbol with a star on it. I believe they also count for a number if you don't want to do it. Can't remember what that number is. And anyways, in my notes I've given it a 3 out of 10, and I don't really know why I gave it a 3. Basically, you're just rolling a die and moving around. I'm willing to give it a 2 and rate it below Scotland Yard, but above Monopoly. Hold on. For the simple fact, delete and 2 out of 10. For the simple fact that it is honest about what it is. Monopoly has a bunch of hidden features which mean absolutely nothing. That's the infuriating thing. Just small notches that could maybe make it a 3 or a 4 if there were more in it. But there just isn't. Ludo knows what it is. It's roll and move, and the little strategy that it does offer is if you have multiple out, you can decide which ones to move. Oh yeah, if you hit an opponent on the same spot, if you walk into it, you knock that opponent home. So if you have 2 or 3 out, you can choose which ones to move, and sometimes that choice actually matters because your opponent could be in a position to knock you home or not. So the choice actually has some meaning to it and matters a little bit, but not a lot, and that's why I'm saying 2 out of 10, not 3. I don't know why, but that's also why I'm rating it 2 out of 10. It's because it's honest about what it is. It's just a simple roll and move, and the choice that it gives you does matter. Whatever little bit it might be, it does matter. It's not just a false hidden, right? Like, it's not like it completely doesn't matter which one you choose. Of course, if you're the only one with 2 on the field and the other ones haven't gotten theirs out yet, it completely doesn't matter. And you can't split up like a roll of 6. You can't go 3 and 3. You have to go 6. But at least, it's honest about that, the game, in the rules and stuff. So that's why I would say it's a 2 out of 10 instead of a 1 out of 10. Because at least it's honest about what it is, right? The same with Scotland Yard. It doesn't really have hidden features that in the end mean absolutely nothing. Everything in the game means what it's supposed to mean. It just isn't that good. So now we take a massive jump to the next game, because I'm gonna talk about chess. It's actually surprising to me that not a lot of people think chess when they think board games. It is Monopoly or Ludo / Trouble, or the 5th game on this list actually, that people probably think about when they think board games, but not necessarily chess. And chess, while it doesn't get a massive rating from me, it definitely rates higher than these other 3 ones. Of course, in chess you have a bunch of different pieces. How many pieces is it that you have? 2, 3, 4, let's say 16? No wait, there's 4 on each side with the king queen. There's 3 on either side, and then the king and the queen. That's 8, and then you have a row of farmers. So that's 16 pieces. Where 8 of them are simple farmers who have 1 ability, but the other ones play differently, and it's very much tactical how you move around. Like it is a brain teaser, this game. I'm not going to rate it very highly, unfortunately, because abstract board games like chess don't interest me that much, and however good it is, like chess is really, really good, and what it does, the strategy game of how do you move, and your first move matters insanely much, just like your 3rd move and your 5th move. Everything matters because 1 move can end your game, and it's just so thinky, and it's great, but it's moving around. There's no luck involved. You make every single decision. That's definitely a massive plus for it. You make every single decision in how you move it around, and you are going to lose. You are going to lose the game. Not the game is not going to lose for you. You are going to lose. If you don't play well, you are going to win. So it's incredibly good at that one. I'm going to rate it a 5 out of 10. It is the middle. It is the absolute average. Maybe I can bump it up to a 6 out of 10 to be above average, to be a little bit better. But to me, that's where chess belongs. Absolute classic, and really is. If you want to think about some classics within board gaming, chess is probably up there. And if people were to ask me, what should I think? when I think board gaming, I would say chess rather than Monopoly and Ludo/Trouble, or even the fifth game. I know I said it got better, but the fifth game is a little bit worse than chess, I think. But chess is absolutely a classic, and it does what it does really brilliantly. I just don't think that what it does is great. It's good, but it's not great. So 5 out of 10 for me, maybe 6. So the final game of today's 5 games I've played is another classic within the board gaming scene. It is Tic Tac Toe. Tic Tac Toe is played in a 3x3, and you all each have 3 pieces usually. 2 plays down. 1 is crosses, 1 is circles, and it's all about getting 3 in a row. And this game, at first I was like ranking it around a 2, maybe a 3, just like Ludo/Trouble, right? But recently I've thought about it. I had a game of it, and I've thought a lot about that game. And I thought about how tactically it is. A little bit like chess, right? It's very tactical. Your moves very much does matter, and you can bring your opponent into positions where they are forced to do one of 2 things, but if they only do one of the things, you're going to win. You can't do both. And I thought that was pretty interesting. We had a very long back and forth, and in the end I was the one who fucked up. I'm not even surprised by that, by the way, but I was. And just got me thinking just how tactical it actually is, Tic Tac Toe. How long we can sit in a duel, 1 against 1v1, and just moving around and looking at the board. Like, we would spend good 20-30 seconds sitting there thinking about the move. Where can we move it to force our opponent to do something? Well, not every move, of course. Some of the moves were easy, but it was just so intriguing. Such an interesting game, and interesting because you don't immediately think, well, you don't immediately think that this is, a great intriguing game. But yeah, it was. That's very interesting. So I actually rated this a 5 out of 10, which is also why I'm saying chess might be a 6 out of 10, just to bump it above Tic Tac Toe. But I'm rating it a 5 just because you can really have that long duel where all that matters is your move, because your opponent, because you can force your opponent into a bad position, or you can help your opponent into a good position. So it's really a hard back and forth duel, and I think it's very underrated actually. So that's why I'm rating it actually a 5 out of 10, because it is actually a really good back and forth duel. Incredible. I didn't think so when I first made the list, but then I thought about it and thought about it some more, and it is actually a really interesting abstract game. As I say, again, it is an abstract game, and I'm always going to rate abstract games lower because theme matters so much to me in game. So an abstract game really much lives off of its mechanics, and if you break down mechanics, you're all going to end up having multiple games be worse than they are. Like if you removed the theme of Wingspan, you would left with the mechanic, I think I would go down to a 7 of it maybe. But because you add the theme to lift it so high. But not a 7, that's an overstatement, but I hope you get the point of that. So I am going to go in on my document here and change chess to a 6 out of 10, and Tic Tac Toe is still a 5 out of 10. Very simple, but such an intriguing duel. I'd never thought about it before, but I thought about it now. Very, very much an interesting, intriguing duel game. So that is another episode of Tabletop Reviews, another episode of 5 games I've played. There will be 3 more of these at least, and then we will see if maybe there are going to be more. There probably is. We play a lot of games. But I'm just happy to get this recorded, and I hope to see you in the next one. Bye!